Coming to you from the Hong Kong Sevens. Andrew, Hong Kong, 3 losses out of 3 matches. I guess they're looking forward to a rebuilding process for next year.
I think so, yeah. So yesterday was a real struggle. Wasn't pretty for Hong Kong. Didn't seem to play with any structure, and they're relying on individual breaks and players. And at this level, just not going to cut it, unfortunately.
Okay, the big upset yesterday of the day was probably Hong Kong losing to Spain. That was definitely a match they were expected to win.
It was a game they were expected to win, but I don't think he could have written Spain off. They're a good physical side. The scoreline was a bit unjust. Obviously, we had an unfair yellow card on Jamie Hood. Not unfair, but a bit harsh. And I think, the scoreline was very flattening for Spain. Hong Kong gave them a go, but just again, it was just out-muscled, unfortunately.
Okay, well, I believe we have our commentators up and running, so let's now go to the Sevens.
Teams out, they played yesterday. They've only met once before, and it was 24 hours ago here in Hong Kong when Kenya and Malaysia met, and you see the score there. Kenya 45, Malaysia 12. Towering apartment blocks looking over the stadium here at Song Kong Po. There's the Kenyan team. We think about their form. It hasn't been so good here on the tour so far this year. They were beaten by Russia on day 1, but here's their lineup. They've got some great runners, and especially Collins and Jira, number 11. There's the 2 brothers, number 6 and number 10, Humphrey Koyangi and Lavan Asego. Bika Adima is a fast centre player, and Gibson Weru Kahutia gets his first start of the tournament. And here's little Malaysia. Well, they've boosted and strengthened their rugby with the inclusion of 3 Fijian-born players. And you see them there, numbers 1, 2 and 5. Kini Rasolo Solo, Timothy Nafakula and Isoa Taruva. And down at the bottom, numbers 11 and 12, there's the 2 brothers, Muhammad Saizul Hafifi, Muhammad Saizul Hafiz, and the 3rd brother is in the reserves, number 7, Muhammad Khairul. A fantastic effort for that family. So it's a small crowd. It's cool this morning, coming up to 9 a.m. wherever you are around the world. We hope you will stay with us today. I'm Keith Quinn. With me will be the former Tongan international Willie Losay, former England international Nigel Starmer-Smith. Wyn Griffith is the Welsh representative on our commentary team, and we're looking forward to bringing you the rugby action today. We broadcast in many directions, and the audiences continue to increase year by year for the Sevens Rugby Tour as it travels around the world, and this is the biggest stop for the Sevens each season. This tournament began in 1976, and in 1999 it was accorded the major stop with extra points on the IRB Sevens circuit when it began. This is the 12th season of the tour. Referee for this game will be Harry Mason from Singapore. So we have a Malaysian team against Kenya. We have a Singapore referee. We have a Kiwi and a Tongan in the commentary box. This reflects the true international nature of Sevens. Remember, this is the sport, if you're seeing it for the first time, that is to be included in the Summer Olympic program in Rio de Janeiro in 2016. A lot of excitement that's mentioned every day on the tour, the prospects for this burgeoning sport. Kicking off for Kenya is their star point scorer and very good kickoff expert, Lavan Asego. And these 2 teams met 24 hours ago. That's the way the draw goes. And so I guess the first thing in bringing Willie into the commentary box is to see whether Malaysia have learned how to counter the Kenyan attacks.
No doubt they would have gone through the tapes, but it's a great start for Kenya and their captain, and Humphrey Koyangi opening the score sheet after 35 seconds. And really, Keith, that was quite weak defence by the Malaysians out to the left.
Yes, it was. They've had a tough time here, Malaysia. We're very pleased to see Malaysia here. By the way, they've played their role in the World Sevens over the years. They were the first city in Kuala Lumpur to host the expanding of Sevens into the, shall we say, some of the major games that take place when they hosted the Commonwealth Games for the first time in 1998. Since then, of course, Sevens rugby has gone on to onto the Asian Games and of course has been included in the future Summer Olympic Games, as I've mentioned. So Malaysia played their part there with hosting those first Commonwealth Games. They also hosted 2 events on the IRB Sevens Tour in the last decade. And there's that wonderful kickoff again by Lavan Asego, but the ball has been won this time by Malaysia. Now Malaysia have these big guys in their team now, plus a nice Asian mix as well. So obviously they're hoping for something better from them this year. That's number 8 was Muhammad Zulkawai. And the tackler there is Taruva for Malaysia. Kayangi, Asego. They're trying to move it wide. This is Injera, and here comes Biko Adema. And this looks pretty comfortable for Kenya at the moment. Kayangi, nice reverse pass. His brother is further out. And here we go with Adema. And a nice pass away to Oscar Ouma. And Oscar Ouma is in for a try, the second one for Kenya in this game.
His 4th career try, 3rd tournament, and it's easy to see the different styles in sevens play. Kenya looking to up the ante, and it started with their captain Humphrey Kainge some 6 phases earlier, where the line-out was given and he just picked up the ball. The same ball had to be used, and he threw it in. Malaysia still at 6s and 7s, excuse the pun, didn't really realign with their defence, and after moving it one way and then the other, Omar scores Kenya's 2nd try.
Biko Adema is the man here with the shot at goal, and number 5 was the try scorer Oscar Ouma. 12-0. Very high kickoff again. This one's a little deeper. They should be able to control this. Taken down nicely by Rasolo Solo. And that's Krishnan, another big guy, Danish Farhan Krishnan for Malaysia. And now a bit of space here for Rasolo Solo. Taruva. Here we go with the 3rd Fijian, Nakathula. Halfway line there. This is a nice little break. They're probing for a gap and space, but it's gone in front of Rasolo Solo. So nice potential for these guys, Willie, and this team has been strengthened from that which we saw at the Commonwealth Games in Delhi, with these guys being included.
Yeah, big local favourite as well, former Fijian under-19 representative Solo, but just some of the passes not sticking, and really the Fijians need to get involved a lot more. They need to be doing a lot more work, as the Tongans and Fijians for Japan did on day 2 yesterday.
So starting this attack way behind the advantage line. And here they come. Good hit by, again, that's Omar away. Out wide to Leon Adongo. And there's try number 3 for Kenya. Got to say, it's a bit of a romp here.
Yeah, the 25-year-old from the Harlequins club made his debut in Dubai some 5 years ago, 2006. And Harlequins are Kenya's 15-a-side champions. But look at that, that's the handoff by Solo, unable to stay with one of the earlier try scorers in Omar, and unselfishly just feeding it out left. This is good sevens play from Kenya, what we've come to expect over the years.
Yeah, that's interesting, Willie. We have come to expect from them, but their form has wavered with some concern this season. They've had many more losses than wins on the tour. I think they're going to get a win here. I think we can safely see that, as they are comfortably accumulating points. But the coach, Benjamin Ayimba, and Boon Hun Chi, the coach of Malaysia for this game. A couple of old All Blacks have been helping Malaysian rugby in recent years, and also Tamasi Thama Sr., his son playing for New Zealand. But Duncan Robertson and Jeff Matheson, All Blacks back in the 70s, putting in valuable time. And here comes another try for Lavan Asego. He certainly knows how to get them. That's Collins and Gira, in fact. Collins and Gira scores it.
Third try in Hong Kong, 109 in total. 7 Centurion, look at that, he just backed his pace. One of the quickest guys when he first came on the circuit. And we got to see those flying boots on a number of occasions. Try number 4, and really for Malaysia, it's all about possession, trying to get their hands on the ball and being competitive. And better yesterday, Keith, where they were actually able to score 2 tries, even though they were beaten 12-45. That's Malaysia.
Coach Ayimba, himself a great player in his younger years. The principle of the kickoff is very important in sevens rugby, very high. Gives the team that's kicking off a chance to get under and compete for the ball coming down. So here comes Kenya again. Gibson, Wera, Kahutio there. Now out wide. Again, the man was beautiful body swerve there by Collins and Gira. What a beautiful move that was. We'll see that in the replay again. It's his second try. He continues to be a big try scorer on the tour, Collins and Gira. But have a look at this. Nice, Willie.
Yeah, the body swerve. He actually mesmerised the defence. Have a look at this. Get it wide, and then he goes inside and out. And look at the 2 defenders for Malaysia. You can see that they get, well, they get confused, didn't come across quick enough. And Nathakula. And so there goes Collins and Gira with his second try of the match. Kenya's 5th and comfortably ahead at the break.
Well, that total of tries is mounting from well over 100 now for Collins and Gira as we come to the half-time break now. 7 minutes each way, and the big score building here for Kenya. So here's Isoa Taruba as the second half of this opening game of day 3 of the Hong Kong Sevens. The Cathay Pacific Credit Suisse Hong Kong Sevens resumes. It's a rather quiet beginning, building up to fantastic excitement later in the day, believe me. And one of the interesting stats that's come out of the first half is that Kenya made no errors, and they ran in the 31 points, and Malaysia only made 1 error. In other words, the good ball handling just saw the Kenyans waltz through. The problem is the completion of the tackles, I guess. But in a sense, this is very good to see Kenya getting it all together. Oscar Uma is number 5, and now they move it again through Asego. They're heading out towards the brothers in midfield. And this is Gibson Weru and Kayangi. The referee's hardly had to blow his whistle here. Kenya coming again. Gibson Weru, Asego, Injira. Out wide to Adongo. That's big man there and little man, the Mohammed Saizul Hafiz, one of the 2 brothers there. Numbers 11 and 12 on the field for Malaysia, the brothers. And further out, it's gone to William Mbaka, who's on the field.
Yeah, ill-discipline from Malaysia yet again. 3 advantages to Kenya. They're doing it with 6 players because one of their players, and this may be the reason, Oscar Uma is actually a man leaving the field.
It's a 3rd offside. It's a general warning.
So look at
Have a
that.
word with the team. Must stay on side of the ruck.
6 times
Have a
inside
word.
the 22 for 5 tries so far.
They're struggling to get back into position because of the quick recycled ball from Kenya. Now they've got the 7 back on the field.
So here it comes. And a nice floating pass for Adongo. And so Leon Odongo scores his 2nd try.
Well, this is a much better performance from Kenya, who were thumped by Fiji last night, 40 points to 0. And look at this, it's a simple move, one way, then the other. You can see the Malaysians rushing up out of the line. You can see the gap that they've got there between one defender and the other. Not communicating, not pushing across. Far too easy for the Kenyans.
4.5 minutes to play as Levin Asego gets set to play. He's the top point scorer for Kenya, but he has the nice ability to kick sweetly for his catches at the restarts, and he's also a good distributor of the ball. Levin Asego. That's a shame for the big man, Timothy Nathakula.
That pretty much tells the story, doesn't it? Totally dominated by Kenya. And Malaysia, another step too. Too many missed tackles. 13 made, 10 missed. That's the reason why they trail by 38 points.
There's Asego giving a good example of his ability to distribute. Oh, this is a very good run there by Mbaka. And here comes the try. They're just continuing to mount. And that is a good one. Gibson Wero Kahutia.
Well, he's going to add the extras himself. That's a formality. It's just too easy now. Malaysia struggling to actually get possession. I don't think they've touched the ball at all in the second half.
We look at Gibson Wero bring it round. And I've got to say the Malaysians are looking pretty disconsolate out there. They're very slow to come up even to the 10-metre mark. Levin Asego will do the kick-off. He can look around and see whether it should be a short one, perhaps into the middle, or we over to the right. There he goes up the middle, and his jumpers get through. They're much more experienced than the Malaysian, but here's Nathakula getting a break for Malaysia. He's got support from Rasolo Solo. So that's a good little touch there from Malaysia.
Release, release him. Must release first, Red.
So with that tap and go.
Advantage, not 10.
They went back 10 metres. Somebody called it out. Nathakula having a run here, the big Fijian guy. This is their first visit inside the 22. Good work.
Release. Back, back.
Making the pass will be Mohammed Saizul Hafiz to Taruva. And he's got the pass away. And that's going to be a try. And a lovely try to Saizul Hafiz. Mohammed Saizul Hafiz. One of the two brothers on the field at the start for this Malaysian team. And I guess the Kenyans will be very disappointed this has happened.
Yeah, well, the 25-year-old Cobra is the club, and the big imports, the Fijians, really just outmuscled the Kenyans. Good awareness, and look at that. That's a lovely pass because it had to be popped over the Kenyan who was in traffic. One of the three brothers, the centre in 15 is a 24-year-old, gets the reward. Some consolation. I suppose the nice thing about it too, Keith Quinn, is that they will get to play definitely 2 games anyway, so perhaps their next test will be appropriate because they'll be playing the loser of the next match between Hong Kong and China.
So there is the kickoff. You see that one? It was a comfortable catch for a Kenyan. Allows them to be secure in the restart. And this is going to be trouble. Away goes William Mbaka, and he's the new player in the Kenyan team. And for those of us who've watched their form waver over the last couple of months, wonder about them introducing new players. Some of the guys who are on the tour, been on the tour for 3 or 4 years and racking up an impressive tally of tournaments. But if they're not winning, perhaps we look to see when they're going to introduce some new blood. And here is one, William Mbaka.
Yeah, he just needs to learn to put the ball in the other hand. I always get nervous when I see wingers, the people with pace who carry the ball on the inside arm as opposed to being where it is now, so that he's got the left hand to actually fend if any defenders come across. If he learns that as a young man, it's a good habit to learn. Interesting though, Keith, because he is a young 20-year-old coming through, and Benjamin Ayimba's wanting to bring through some of these young guys because of the aging players like Kayange and also Njeda and Wedu.
There's the short stabbing kick. It might not have gone 10 metres, but Malaysia played it first, so it will count as play on. And Horace Otieno, who's come off the subs bench, goes in for a try. That's a a classic example of the value of having an expert man at the kickoff. He saw that the Malaysian players were back. He knows that they're a bit reluctant to come forward and make the catch. So it was just a little stabbing kickoff. He looked up in admiration at it, and the Malaysian jumpers missed it. A happy bounce for Kenya, and Otieno, away he goes.
Yeah, they call him Horace the Menace, and he certainly was that. His 21st try in his career, and comfortable, 9 tries to 1.
So